I did about these Idaho students. You know what I'm saying? Like when dude tried to put in his title, dude named guilty. You know what I'm saying? Then he changed it up. You must have seen my video change it up. But this lady being sued right now. Let me see. Let me tell you how's that. A University of Idaho professor has filed a lawsuit against Ashley Gilliard, a web sleuth who posts videos on TikTok claiming the professor is implicated in the quadruple student murders. So basically, she's trying to get some clout and trying to say dude did it, and now he's suing her ass for this shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you can't be doing shit like that, man. You can't be online accusing motherfuckers and getting views and getting traction, and now you got people actually looking at these people. You know what I'm saying? It's done like a defamation of character or some shit. Like, you know. So we gonna see. You know what I'm saying? We gonna see what they talking about, and we gonna see should she be sued? Cause I feel like if she really throwing somebody's name out there, yeah, she need to be some. She gotta have some type of consequences for her actions. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way to get her consequence.
Backstabs the killer, she's not gonna live up to her promises for him.
A TikToker and self proclaimed internet sleuth sued for defamation after she repeatedly claims a University of Idaho history professor is responsible for the murders of 4 students. So, how strong is this professor's case? I'm Anjanette Levy, and welcome to Law and Crime's Sidebar podcast. Imagine waking up one day and finding out that there's a TikTok page basically dedicated to calling you a murderer. That happened to Professor Rebecca Schofield of the University of Idaho. She is a history professor there, and Schofield is suing a woman named Ashley Gillard for defamation after Gillard posted more than 20 videos accusing Schofield of taking part in the murders and having a relationship with one of the victims. Maddie Mogen, Kaylee Gonsalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin were all murdered in an off-campus home on November 13th. Schofield says, to her knowledge, she's never met any of these students, and she's never had any of them in her history classes. Right after the murders, Ashley Gillard started posting TikTok videos about Professor Schofield, claiming that she partnered with someone else to commit these murders. According to Schofield's lawsuit, her lawyer sent 2 cease and desist letters to Gillard, but she didn't stop posting about her and claiming that the professor was involved in the murders. Kermit Roosevelt is a constitutional law expert and a professor at the Penn Carey Law School at the University of Pennsylvania, and he's also the author of The Nation That Never Was, Reconstructing America's Story. Professor Roosevelt, welcome to Sidebar. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks so much for having me.
What are your thoughts as you look through the TikTok videos that you're seeing on this woman's page?
Well,
they saying, so you know about them Idaho students who got killed, you know what I'm saying? So this girl went online, she went on TikTok, and she basically made a bunch of videos about how she think that a professor at their school is responsible for it. So now the professor has filed a lawsuit, a defamation lawsuit against her because she basically, you know what I'm saying, she pointing the finger at her, and I guess she's saying she ain't, she it's too much. It's probably pressure coming from that shit too. You know what I'm saying? She getting a little traction, and people looking at her TikToks, and they probably going to the professor Instagram, whatever, and hitting her inbox. So yeah, she trying to get her to stop doing that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Main thought is something has gone wrong here. This is a bad situation. It's bad for the professor who is having these accusations made against her. It's also bad for the person who's making the accusations, who's subjecting herself to significant legal exposure. So it suggests to me that social media has introduced new dangers in our society, and we should...
That's what I'm saying. You can't be around here accusing people, you know what I'm saying, of shit. You don't know the facts, you know what I'm saying? Or if you got some weak ass facts and shit. Like, take out that last video I did probably about a couple weeks ago about the Jack the Court dude who the Crime Circus guy was trying to, the Crown Circus guy was trying to make it seem like he was guilty of it. You know what I'm saying? By putting his name in the title and saying he guilty and all that. You know what I'm saying? But he changed it up because he probably seen shit like this coming. For real. He seen shit like this coming, so he changed it up because he could possibly be sued too. So yeah, he had to change that shit up.
Maybe be thinking about ways to mitigate those.
I find that to be an interesting point because I think people don't understand or may not realize, or in some cases may not care, that what you say on social media is the same as you writing it in the newspaper. It's the same as you posting it anywhere or speaking it. This is a forum where somebody's reputation can be damaged. It's almost like TikTok to me is the wild, wild west here. People have gone crazy with this case. Talk to me a little bit about what your responsibilities are as anyone posting on social media.
Well, as you said, it's the same. So communication over social media, communication over the internet, that's real. And I think probably everyone is familiar with the phenomenon where people are less inhibited posting online. They are meaner than they would be normally. They're more extreme. And if you're anonymous and you're just flaming people anonymously, then I guess it's limited. And the harm that can follow is limited. But if you're doing this publicly and you're disseminating your speech to millions of people, potentially, you could be causing massive reputational harm. And the things that are being said on these TikToks are certainly defamatory. There are allegations of involvement in a crime and allegations of professional misconduct. So there's a potential for very serious reputational harm.
That's like the same thing that's going on right now with Mimo 600 and 50 Cent, I heard. You know what I'm saying? I heard Mimo 600 is suing 50 Cent for defamation. Because in that hip-hop homicide shit, 50 Cent using a picture of Mimo 600 as one of the killers of Duck. But obviously we know the killers of Duck is locked up right now. One of them is not Mimo 600. So he's suing 50 Cent right now. Supposedly, I heard, you know what I'm saying? Who knows how true that is, but supposedly they say he's trying to sue 50 for 50, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how much it's for. I don't know how much he's suing him for, but they say he's trying to sue him because he used his face as one of the killers of you know what I'm saying, a Duck. So he's trying to say, nah, you know, that's defamation. So he's trying to sue and he might win. He probably gonna win. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with this. She throwing this lady name around, you know what I'm saying? In all these videos, she getting traction, people watching her videos. Now the lady didn't caught on to it. And yeah, she wants you to stop. So the only way she can get you to stop, she done sent you cease and desist orders. You know what I'm saying? You're not even responding to them. You're not even looking at that as a legal, you know what I'm saying? That's a legal document. You know what I'm saying? You supposed, when somebody send you that, you supposed to give it a lawyer and make sure, okay, do I really have to cease and desist? You know what I'm saying? And the lawyer gonna tell you. But obviously you ain't do that because you was getting so much traction on your TikTok. You said, fuck all that legal shit. I'm getting views, you know what I'm saying? So that shit might cost you. That shit might cost you, Ashley Gilliard. You know what I'm saying? It might cost you, you know what I'm saying? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But should you be sued for this shit? Man, I mean, I gotta watch a couple of your videos to really get my honest opinion on that, you know what I'm saying? But if you put out 20 plus videos on this one person accusing them of this, you know what I'm saying? And they were sending you cease and desist, and you was acting like that ain't matter. Then how else can they get you to stop doing that? You know what I'm saying? How else can they get you to cut it out? They gotta do this.
And then, as I said, you can't just say that about someone if it's not true, and I know no evidence suggesting that it is true. So there's very significant potential defamation liability for the speaker here too.
I think it's important that we note this isn't just accusing Professor Schofield of murder. She is saying that she was romantically involved with one of the victims. Professor,
where's you getting all these facts from? You know what I'm saying? How do you know these things? So I might have to watch a couple of your TikToks, but I don't got TikTok. So I might have to see if you available on the tool and see if we can watch it and then see, you know what I'm saying, what you saying sound logical. You know what I'm saying?
Mr. Schofield says that's not true. I've never met these people.
For you to just pick this teacher out, like, how do you just find a teacher and just pick her out like that? You know what I'm saying? How does that work?
To my knowledge, I've never met them. I've never had them in one of my history classes. What does the professor have to prove here in order to win this case?
Well, this is a matter of public concern. Obviously, the public is very interested in this case. So it's not the best case for a defamation plaintiff. But Professor Schofield is a private individual. She hasn't inserted herself into this controversy. She's not a public figure. So constitutionally speaking, she could recover on a mere showing of negligence. So she has to show that the statements are false, that they are defamatory, they injure her reputation, and that the speaker was negligent in not learning that they were false and in expressing them anyway.
Tracking and reconciling this.
Yeah, basically she could prove that she didn't really give a fuck about the facts. She was just gonna run with her own narrative and spin her own narrative, then she gonna lose that case, you know what I'm saying?
What I think is interesting about this is that there are commenters on some of these videos who say, where are you coming up with this stuff? And it almost seems like this Ashley is obsessed with this idea, and she is convinced that it's true. In my viewing of some of these TikToks, I'm astounded at how many there are and the ways she's discussing this and justifying her position. And I wanted to ask you too, you were saying that the professor is a private individual, which I find interesting because if she were a public figure, it would be a higher bar, of course. You'd have to prove actual malice, but there's no argument to be made as a university professor that you were in some way, shape, or form a public figure.
No, she's not a general public figure, and she's not a limited purpose public figure either. So if she had inserted herself into this controversy and said, I know who the murderer is, and then someone else had said, actually, I think it's you, maybe she'd be a public figure for that purpose. But as far as I know, she was just trying to stay out of this. She didn't have anything to do with it. So you can't reach out and take a private individual and thrust them into the limelight against their wishes without them doing anything and then say they're a public figure. So she has all of the...
It's like everybody can now say you're a public figure because you just put yourself in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? You just really put her and you in the middle of it. So now both of y'all are public figures. Now kind of, you know what I'm saying? Kind of.
Ordinary protections accorded to private individuals.
We've reached out to Ashley Gillard, and as of this recording, we haven't yet heard back from her. I also reached out to Professor Schofield directly, and her lawyer sent a statement. I want to put that up on the screen. It says, the statements made about Professor Schofield are false, plain and simple. What's even worse is that these untrue statements create safety issues for the professor and her family. They also further compound the trauma that the families of the victims are experiencing and undermine law enforcement efforts to find the people responsible. In order to provide answers to the families and the public, Professor Schofield twice sent cease and desist letters to Miss Gillard, but Miss Gillard has continued to make false statements knowing they are false. Thus, this lawsuit became necessary to protect Professor Schofield's safety and her reputation. What does this tell you that this Ashley is continuing to post?
She had to do it. She had to send that lawsuit out to protect her reputation and her safety.
Even after receiving cease and desist letters?
Well, it seems to me that she's not acting very rationally, honestly, because based on what I know, this seems like a very strong lawsuit, and refusing to comply with cease and desist letters puts her in a worse position. So it looks to me as though she is not calculating the costs and benefits to her of this.
She got titles of her TikTok saying, I'm on fire with excitement. See you in court. The lady name who she accusing of this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Behavior. And, this is sort of the problem that I started out with. The thing about social media is it makes everyone a publisher. It makes everyone able potentially to reach a very wide audience. And we used to have gatekeepers. So I could have, 20 years ago, written an op-ed accusing some private individual of involvement in some notorious crime. Say the O.J. Simpson case, I could have said, this professor somewhere is the real killer. And I could have sent that out to the New York Times, but they never would have published it. So it never would have reached a lot of people. My own, musings about the case. But now certain things go viral on TikTok, and it's hard to predict why. And someone coming up with accusations that don't really seem to have any foundation can suddenly reach millions of people.
I'm somewhat surprised that there hasn't been some type of criminal complaint taken here. This almost seems like it could reach the level of harassment. I don't know if you believe that, but it seems to me that this is harassing this professor.
Well, so I'm not sure exactly what the crime there would be, and there are significant free speech protections for even, encouragement of illegal behavior as long as it's not imminent. So I think that's probably a harder road to go down than defamation. I mean, defamation, this looks like a very strong case to me. Criminal liability, I think, would be harder. Now, sometimes you could get a restraining order.
That's an interesting point, but it just seems to me that this is just really obviously crossed a line. And again, we reached out to Ashley and she hasn't yet responded to our request for comment. Professor, I want you to tell us before we wrap up here a little bit about your book, The Nation That Never Was, Reconstructing America.
So we're going to try to find some of her TikToks on YouTube and see, you know what I'm saying, if she even sounding logical, you know what I'm saying? But what she's saying. No, they ain't even got them. What's this? Is this one right here? What's this?
You could win a 2023.
We're gonna see if this a good video showing some of her activities on her TikTok. If not, we're gonna wrap it up. But at the end of the day, like I said, she ain't had no choice but to sue this lady. You know what I'm saying? She putting her life in danger. You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't cool. Just like the other dude was doing, the crime circus dude was doing with the other guy.
Everything I talk about my life.
Hey y'all, this your girl, the real deal Anita Gill. How's everyone? I want to give a shout out to all my subscribers, people from other countries. That's why I tell my mods, I just can't get information from y'all and just put it out there. I have to research that stuff because a lot of stuff is fake. Now, I don't know nothing about Miss Ashley, but she is on TikTok and her stories and stuff go through my For You page. You know, you get 1,000 of people go through and you like their videos. Now, this young lady was accused
and giants and systemic policies and racism and they all regret coming against me. All of
This is her right here talking, the girl Ashley.
now Rebecca is going to be added to the list of regretful people. Like I've been against people, biggest corporations and giants and systemic policies and racism and they all regret coming against me. All of them. Now Rebecca is going to be added to the list of regretful people. Like I've been against.
Okay. Now, she is speaking on a professor by the name of Rebecca. Her videos, okay? Let's see what's going on, because we lost.
I'm actually gleaming with excitement. When I immediately start planning because I cannot wait to present my ideas in court regarding Rebecca Schofield and her role in the murder of the 4 University of Idaho students. How she planned it, how it was her initial idea, how she hijacked the court, how she enticed him and energized him and got him ready to kill his own best friend. They got me an ability to understand it. I'm glad it can be me.
Okay, now, let me react. Hold on. Let me
Listen, even just watching them 2 little videos, she sounded like, I don't know, man. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? But she sound like, you know, I don't know, man. She just sound like she's trying to get some type of clout, some type of fame. Like she want to be a news reporter or something. You know what I'm saying? So she feel like this is her best way to go to try to exercise her abilities to be that reporter or something. You know what I'm saying? But she definitely ain't going the right way about it. You know what I'm saying? So when you watch this video, Miss Ashley, stop doing that. That wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? That ain't cool. You know what I'm saying? For you to be putting blame on people who probably ain't had nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? We don't know who did it, but you can't go around just, you know what I'm saying? You can't go around doing that type of stuff, man. That ain't cool, man. You putting her life in danger and you putting her reputation in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? Because her name gonna be tied to this forever now. Yours is too. I don't know if that's what you wanted, but that's what you got. Like, subscribe, do all that YouTube shit, man.